everyone, it's Clarice, and today I'm going to be reviewing two more of the books that I read during the BookTubeAthon. I will leave the links to the other BookTubeAthon book reviews I did in the description down below. And in case you're only here to watch a review for a specific book, I will leave the links to the specific sections of this video for those books in the description as well as on the video itself. The first book I'm reviewing today is Lullaby by Palahniuk. I don't want to tell you the plot of this story. What I will tell you is that in this book, there's a song called the Culling Song. It's a lullaby of African origin that kills anybody that it is read to. And that's the main concept that this book and the story revolves around. This was the third Palahniuk book I ever read and was the only one that I gave more than 3 stars to on Goodreads. In fact, I gave it 5 stars. It's a new favorite of mine, not just of Palahniuk's books, but of books that I've read in general. As with all the other books of his that I've read so far, this book was quotable, satirical, and extremely strange. What this book did a bit differently, however, is that, for one thing, it had some semblance of a plot. Also, the main character just had such a cynical outlook towards modern society, which I kinda loved. And the humor is just so dark at times. There were many points wherein I was reading this book, and I feel like if I were taking it more seriously, I probably would have been offended or even appalled by some of the things that happened here. But I took those moments as humor, and so I ended up actually enjoying the death and the weirdness. But even as I'm enumerating all of these things, I'm still not quite sure what made me love this book. All I know is that it's one of those books that I can't seem to get out of my head, and because of that, it's a new favorite of mine. All that being said, it's actually a really hard book to recommend, I think, because it's one of those love it or hate it books. As much as I love this book, you could just as easily end up hating it. But if you do end up picking this book up, just try to keep an open mind and try to not take things too seriously. Try to have a psychopath's humor for a while. And you might just end up loving this book as much as I did. After reading that book, I read Bloodsucking Fiends by Christopher Moore, which is the first in his Bloodsucking Fiends trilogy. Though from what I know, the books are 3 separate stories, not just one big one. Bloodsucking Fiends is a story about a woman that gets turned into a vampire. Her turning is then followed by a string of murders that seemingly seem to point directly to her. She doesn't know why she was turned, why this other vampire keeps killing all these people, and what she's supposed to do about this entire situation, but she's determined to find answers to all of these questions, even if it means dragging an unsuspecting human man into this whole mess with her. The first Christopher Moore book I ever read, Lamb, is one of my favorite books of all time. So when I read my second and third books of his and didn't end up loving any of them, I was disappointed. I liked these books, sure, but I missed having more humor. Not in the way they were in these books wherein they were kind of dependent on nonsense, but just his humor without all of that extra fluff. Enter Bloodsucking Fiends. I had a lot of fun reading this book. I laughed a lot and I flew through it when I read it. And while it was unique and strange, it wasn't all nonsense. It had a good amount of nonsense, the right amount of nonsense, but with the wit and humor of Moore's that I loved reading so much. It wasn't really a standout book. It wasn't anything special really in my head. But while nothing in this book really stuck out, none of the plot really blew my mind, and it simply cannot compare to Lamb. It had the humor that I was looking for. It was a really funny book, and I'm so glad that I read it. So those are my thoughts on Lullaby and Bloodsucking Fiends. If you've read any of these books, or if you plan on reading any of these books, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section. Both of these books came to me at a time when I was starting to lose faith in the authors that wrote them, and needless to say, they restored my faith in those authors. So this BookTubeAthon, did you rediscover any authors or discover any new authors? I would also love to hear about that in the comment section. Anyway, please like this video if you liked it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!